Welcome back to another episode of Conversation with Mr. French. I'm your host, Derek French. I have a real special guest here today. He is a father, a brother, a husband. He's very active in the community, and he's an entrepreneur. He's the CEO of Black Menswear and BMW, I think it is, as well. And I'm going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Nah, I appreciate you, Derek. NeAndre Broussard. You summed it up pretty good, man. Husband, I put husband first over father. Make sure
Must do.
wife understands the balance. Yeah. Child of God, man. Walking in the movement that God's put in me. To be this advocate for our community, to be able to shine positive lights on our community through the Black Menswear movement, which has grown into also having an offshoot of an agency, BMW Digital, that allows us to not only champion our stories within our platform, but also champion stories of others who come from same underrepresented groups as ourselves, in ways that we leverage them and help them in storytelling, in content development and strategy development for really authentic conversations that brands can then utilize. So, again, man, just pleasure to be here. Pleasure to see you again, bro. I appreciate you popping in with us in Vegas. Back last month. I had a great time, man. So I appreciate you following up and having me on.
Oh, the pleasure all mine, brother. The pleasure is all mine, especially seeing all his brothers coming together and looking clean and sharp as well. Positive vibe. I was a must. I have to be a part of that. It was a must. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Man,
Background.
I'm from Dallas. Well, originally from Houston, but I've been in Dallas now most of my life, 20 years.
Okay.
Um, I came here to go to college, went to SMU, joined Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Never left. My wife and I have two amazing sons, 10 and 11, baseball players. And really just I'm privileged to be somebody who God is using, again, for just to share positivity within our community. Right, this movement came out of a need to counteract so much negative energy that was being placed on my community through the media's perception. Right, how the media told stories about us and about when I look at it, like myself, you, my sons, my father, my brother, my cousins, my pastor, my homies. Right, like those stories didn't actually match who we were. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was where the movement was birthed on really just using the power of social media, the platform of connectivity to be able to tell positive stories. So that way, when there were more negative images come out there, we would have something we can balance ourselves against. I remember one time, this was, 2014, 15, 16, where there was just a lot of negative energy, black engagement with law enforcement. I mean, brothers getting killed left and right, left and right. And I got to a point where I was like desensitized. And I realized I was desensitized because of when you see something so much, psychologically, it becomes okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a moment where I was like, dang, I had to catch myself because I was like, all right, another one, but I didn't feel for the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something for me. And I just realized it, like, dang, I got to that point because I saw so much of it, so much negativity, that for me, in just in that moment, I had allowed that negativity to settle to where it became okay. And that was a moment where I was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do something, leverage what we know from social media, leverage what we know from building communities to then build a community for my people. And here we are today, 8 years later.
Well, congratulations on that, brother. I can
No,
relate to
thank you,
that.
sir.
I can relate to that. Me originally from Kansas City, Missouri. So I was born right in the inner city. So there was
Yeah,
crimes every day. And then not on top of
yeah,
that, plus on top of that, I went to a predominantly all black school. And you know how
yeah,
we get. All of us
yeah,
there, so yeah, I can totally relate, man. And then I also have a daughter who's 20. Then I have two boys. One is 16 and one is 13. So I
yeah,
totally understand about the black on black crimes and just violence. Period. Right.
yeah,
So take me back to 2017 before
yeah.
before the Black Man's Work. Where was you at? And what were you doing?
Um, I was so 2017, right here in Dallas. Wife and I had, um oldest son, but actually we had both of them. Both of our boys were born at that time. I was in financial services world. 2017, I was still at the bank. I was doing banking for JP Morgan Chase. And that was right before I transitioned into life insurance.
Okay.
But even within that world, um, there was a difference in, I go to a lot of rooms and it was just me. It wasn't a lot of brothers that looked like me. If it was few and far in between.
Mm-hmm.
And so being in that world of finance, financial services, where people are relying on you to help them to retire with dignity, retire with an understanding of putting a plan in place and having that plan come to fruition years down the line, it really birthed something in me to understand like there are people that understand, there are people that don't. And when you look at the historical perspectives about money, a lot of the clients that I had didn't look like me, right? When it came to putting money aside, preparing for retirement, preparing for college, preparing for a lot of these different things, understanding how to invest money strategically, I had a lot of clients that didn't look like me. And so when I came across clients that looked like me, man, I gave it everything I had. Now, let me show you how to do this. All right. Let me break this down for you so that way you can understand the financial world is not going to take advantage of you because at that time, like, it's not going to take advantage of you because you're black. It's going to take advantage of you because you don't understand.
Correct.
And my people perish for a lack of knowledge, not my people perish because they black. And so when I was in that space, being able to be a leader in that space just to help more people understand, like, this is what a savings account is. This is what a retirement plan is. This is what life insurance is. And now I'm helping them feel more comfortable about, okay, well, I might not have a lot, but if I don't have a lot, but I put a little away over time, a little compounds and grows. And so that was my mindset prior to the movement. So you can already see where I was with my people. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm trying to
Yep.
figure out what are ways that I can empower and motivate my people through education, being in positions like being a licensed advisor, like all of those things just kind of put my mindset in a way of, man, how do I just help my community be better because I'm providing more knowledge, more education to them.
So once you provided that knowledge to our people, were you able to go home and sleep good at night?
Oh man, it gave me joy, because the smiles on their faces turned into smiles on my face, right? When I see them, when you see somebody light up because they just feel like, oh man, I got it now, like that means a lot, especially when you're in that role. It's like I don't want to just um, use what I've learned over time for myself when I can pass it on. And then me teaching and somebody else will then allow them to then be able to pass that on to somebody else. And so being community first is really something that's always been something that's been in me. And so to be in that role, in that position where I'm helping empower people, man, people feel real good when they money right. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
that's the
trust me.
thing about our community.
Yes.
Our community goes through a lot of issues because of social economics. It's not we don't have violence with each other or violence in our communities because we're well off.
No.
That's
Yep.
not what it is. It's a dog eat dog struggle. And so the reason why, I see you got it, I ain't got it, I need it to survive, so I'm gonna take it from you. Like that's just the way that the pit has been constructed. And so when you're able to see like, oh man, no, there's a different way about things because I now have, that's a totally different thing. So it definitely brought me joy in that I was able to help to position us in more position of feeling empowered, feeling like I don't have to. Um, uh, I'm not putting myself in a lose lose situation. I can win at this, and so definitely, man, being able to help people made me sleep a lot better at night.
Just hearing what you're saying so far, it's like you really take pride in helping our community versus talking down. Oh, here go a bunch of um, black folks don't know how to open a bank or manage their money of that nature. It seems like you jump front line to help
Yeah,
without even any judgment. So
yeah, because I mean, honestly, man, for me, it's just it really comes down to like one of the biggest things that I learned. I went to a PWI, right? Really, really predominantly white university. Bro, it was probably at SMU at the time I was there. It might have been 100 black folks in all of 6,000 students, about 100, and because it was a very well off university. Like a lot of those kids, their parents paid cash.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so I saw what access looks like. I
Hmm.
saw what, oh, this is what my dad does. So I'm really kind of set. I'm here because I need to get a degree. I saw nepotism. And like for me, that showed me it's like, dang, I don't want to hate on that. Shoot, nepotism is a good thing. LeBron James and Bronny. Cause my daddy got it, I got it.
Hey.
And say something to me about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to put our community in positions like that. And I saw that I was exposed to that. And then so when I was exposed to that in college, it really kind of opened my mind up like, dang, the only reason why we're in the situations that we're in is because we don't have access. Access to the resources is different. So when I know who to call to get the investment money, when I know who to call to get the job, get the door open, when I know who to call to put a play together, you know what I'm saying? Like that
Hmm.
make you it makes you move different. And I just saw it so much, and so I was like, dang, well, now that I know it, if I hold on to it, that's my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Why, how dare me be stingy on the knowledge and things that I've learned over the way because I've been put in certain rooms. You know what I mean? Once I was in rooms and I realized, dang, okay, this networking thing makes sense.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if I all I gotta do is be in here, and for me it was I gotta be in here and look good. If I got those two things down, oh, I can leave out that room with all kind of contacts. And it's up for me to follow up on it, right? See what I get.
This is
And
true.
so like learning that during college was like a turning point for me. As a child, I was always community first. Like I always loved being around people and helping bring out the best in people. But then once you take it to another level, you start learning and understanding how the world works and how society works from a 360 view, not just from a lens of, well, this is what I see on my block, so that's what I'm gonna do. Like being able to see it a little bit more holistic really helped to kind of, again, just remind me that I don't have what I have to keep to myself.
Correct.
It's all about God blesses you so you can be a blessing to others, and so they can be blessings to others,
Hmm.
and then that compounds. And so even as I look at our community and I look at the flash mob movement, like just the conversations of brothers and what's compounded from a link up, you know what I'm saying? A meetup where we're getting content, all that compounds from knowledge, from understanding, and from safe spaces. And so, like, to answer the question, um, it's just, just knowing that and seeing that, spreading that is really like it's a call to action that everybody should, especially from our community. If you got it, spread it.
Yes.
Because if you don't, who will?
And you know what amazes me a lot about you is that you are not asking for 1 cent. You're not asking to I'll go out here or we'll come look nice, but we're going to charge you. No, this is all free to give back to the community, right? So that's
Yeah,
that's what made me want to be really like I had to be a part of that movement because we're setting a foundation of we're leading by example. Hey, our coaches can get together and really support each other with knowledge or just giving a helping hand.
yeah. I've learned that my blessing comes from other ways. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I've opened this door and I have brothers that are now a part of this movement. I mean, that's what got me to damn near a million followers across all my platforms. You know what I'm saying? I make my money in other ways because I have that case study. I can go to any brand and be like, you want to grow your community? You need to holler at me. I can show you how to strategically tell stories, work with influencers, and do events that can bring people together so that way they feel a different way about your platform or about your program. Like that's where I'm like, so for me, could I charge everybody to come to these events and make like $1,000? Yeah, sure. Right? Right? In the grand scheme of things though, would that limit the number of people that come? Would they have a different perspective of, oh, well, shoot, you know, it's not as authentic because, well, I didn't pay for this, so this is what my expectation is. And if I have a bad expectation, or, it's a different mindset
Yep.
versus, okay, shoot, I showed up here. I mean, I had a good time. I met a brother. They met a brother. I met a brother. Like, it's different. It's just a different vibe, and it's to me now to utilize that, right? To utilize that experience and that expertise, and then I'm going to work with brands to help them grow without me having to, maybe the wrong term, but like exploit my community,
Mm-hmm.
for that. Because I just want us to get together. It helps me with data. It helps me to understand people from different parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? It helps me to build my community. But I can go, and this isn't a flex, but it kind of is. I can go to basically any major market in the world and know somebody.
Mm.
Like South America, Asia, Europe, Africa, United States, maybe not Antarctica, but all of the rest of them, I literally, bro, am 1, maybe 2 degrees from somebody
That's
just because of that.
it's because the good seed you sow. It's the good
Yeah,
seed you sow, and once again, you're genuinely doing this out of kindness of your heart. No one is like, hey, you should do this, try to exploit our culture. No, you're doing it because you genuinely want it, right? So,
yeah.
black, the black man's, when did it start? Where
Black
was you
Menswear
like,
started. Yeah.
like how? Where was you like? Where was you at when the thought came to mind? Was you still at your job, or was you at home and you just seeing things on TV to where it's like it's just time for you to take a stand and just get us all together? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, man. I was at home. I saw Philando Castile get killed. I saw them shoot him in front of his daughter and his fiance in his car, and like I saw them try to portray this man as somebody who did something wrong. Like that was the turning moment for me where I was like, nah, there's no way that can't be, because at that point it's kind of it's it's trauma. It's traumatic for one thing about black men and black people in general. We can envision ourselves in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have that trauma. Like
Mm-hmm.
I see a brother die on the police by the police. I'm like, damn, that could be me. That's why we have to talk with our family, with our kids, all the time. Hey, when you get pulled over, hands on the wheel. Yes, sir. No, sir. Keep your voice at a constant. I don't care what they say. Make it home. You know what I'm saying? We
Yep.
gotta do that.
Yep.
That's crazy to me that we gotta do that when other folks don't have to do that. They don't understand. Well, what do you mean you can't talk to and be who you want to be in front of? Man, please, they gonna shoot my black ass. Like that, that's something that we deal with, right? And so when I saw Philando Castile's story at that point, and this was like 2015, my oldest was a baby. My wife was pregnant with my youngest. And so I see my oldest, he's crawling on the floor. And it was one of those moments. I see the story and say, dang. Because the thing that got me was this brother was had a license to carry, did the steps that he was supposed to do when he got pulled over, and informed the police officer, well, I have license to carry, I have my gun in the car, but you asked me for my wallet, so I get my ID, I'm reaching for my wallet, but I have to disclose this information for you. And the police officer feared for his life in that instance. I'm letting you know I'm following the rules, feared for his life, and shot this man in the chest. And we saw him die on Facebook Live. For me, that was like, oh snap. And the media, man, they were digging. They were digging, trying to find something. This man died because of a broken tail light? He had no warrants out for his arrest. He didn't have a long rap sheet. He didn't have a bad run-in. None of that. Him and the cop weren't arguing or fighting. Nothing, bro. He literally died because he's a black man that had a license to carry. And like for me, that was one of those things where I was just like, dang, so if something happens to me, how they gonna tell my story? And like that was one of the turning point moments of that's where that uh um the desensitized came in, and I caught myself
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, "Damn, there go another one." I was like, "No, no, 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 ain't there go another one?" That's like, bro, this could be you, literally. What if your son was in the back seat and Erica was in the car right here and they shot you? What are they gonna say about you? Like that's the trauma that I went through in that moment, and that was where it was like, all right, God, I had already built a social media platform around fashion. Worked with my boy, he launched a platform, and we helped to grow it consistently to over 1 million followers. So I knew how to use social media and the algorithm to put out content, to tell stories. So I was like, all right, well, shoot, I've never done that before. Let me do it for my people.
Mm-hmm.
And I started just at that point. I just started reaching out to black guys in fashion. Like this is a long time ago. So shout out to guys like Sabir Peel. Shout out to guys like Nikoi Hines. Shout out to guys like, dang, this is going way back. Ryan Clark. Like uh, these are guys that at that time there weren't really a lot of black men in fashion, black male influencers that wore suits. And so reaching out to them to be like, hey man, you mind if I post your image on this is what I'm doing on this platform. I just want to show positive image of black men. And nobody ever told me no.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. They were like, yeah, man, absolutely. Love to. And then we got to a point where it was like, okay, well, do we want to be a repost page or do we want to be a storytelling platform? So that's what we started the flash mobs. Because the
Mm-hmm.
flash mobs allowed me to do our own content. So I wasn't just reposting other guys' stuff. I was I was curating narratives myself, right? I'm getting the guys together, getting the photos together, telling these stories based off of our own collection of content. And man, that just took off. That just took off. It's taken me around the world a couple times through. Has allowed me to, again, just build this network of safe space of brothers. I met, took me to the White House, bro. Like I'm sitting here with Joe Biden. Like this, for me, it's just like it's crazy. But it all started just based off of this 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 charge to put out positivity when all I saw was a negativity. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let's do positivity.
So your first stop was here in Vegas. Why Vegas? That's the first
So
stop.
first stop of this year was Vegas. Vegas being a good West Coast hub, right? So people don't realize like how much planning goes into this thing.
Mm.
We are very strategic in the markets that we go to, the timing that we go into those markets. This year we have 6 cities, and so within that, it's like okay, you gotta go. You gotta go. Um, Warm places when it's cold in other places and cold places when it's warm in other places. If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Vegas was the one in March. We're like, it's not gonna be too hot there. We can't do New York in March because you might be in the middle of a snowstorm. Can't do DC in March because you just never know. Might be in the middle of a snowstorm, right? So some of that's strategic. But we knew we'd done LA. We did LA last year. Um, we did Vegas about 3 years ago. We had a really good showing. And so it was kind of one of the times like, all right, well, let's come back. We're on the West Coast. Can we do that other people within the region want to travel to, right? We had guys come from Salt Lake City. We had guys come from LA, from Dago. And so that's always strategic in what's a regional hub that other guys in that market will travel to. So when we go to, Vegas, we're going to get that. When we go to DC, we're going to get Baltimore. We're going to get Philly. We're going to get, when we go to New York, we're going to get New Hampshire. We're going to get Boston. We're going to get the far Northeast. When we go to Miami, we're going to get Florida, all of Florida, some of Georgia. When we go to Atlanta, we're going to get North Carolina. We're going to get Tennessee. We're going to get, all the South. And so really for us, it's really about being strategic on where we're going, when are we going, and if we do something in that market where other people be like, dang, I had a couple guys that never been to Vegas before. They've
Mm.
been now because they came and kicked it with us. You know what I mean? So it's always being strategic about the stops.
So what does success mean to you as a black businessman?
For me, well, one as a black businessman, it's about doing business, right? So, um, you got mouths to feed.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, honestly, success is setting a goal and getting that goal. Um, my 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 desire, from a point of what this is doing, is to collect stories along the way that what I'm doing is changing lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard those, received those, been a part of some really amazing moments in life, around the world. And so for me, success it really looks like this compound of consistent impact in people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
That you have guys like you remember the end of the Vegas Flash Mob where Mike got up and asked Will to be one of the groomsmen in his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
They met at a flash mob 5 years ago,
Mm.
right? For me, that's success. To where young men who are coming out of college are meeting guys that look like them that are in industries that they're in that are giving them internships, giving them jobs out of school. That's success to me. To be able to have a podcast that guys are telling me, man, I hear your podcast drops every Wednesday. Bro, when you had so and so on, just hearing that story told me I can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's success for me. To be able to uh, do experiences in markets like the Kentucky Derby, where we're going to Louisville, Kentucky, and brothers who have never prior to that thought that was attainable for them are like, hey man, when you land, I'm gonna be there. Like things like that, to where now we're able to elevate the standard of who we are as black men and uh what we inspire to be, but also what we subscribe to, like what we're a part of. For me, that's where the success lies. And what I've learned is when you do good stuff comes to you. Business relationships come to you. Um, Now with that, you got to have your business in order, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
to have your house in order. Like
This is true. Yep.
we're very structured in the business, and so whether it is something that we're doing on our own or whether somebody's hiring us to do an experiential activation, whether they're hiring us to do a content strategy for them, whether they're hiring us to to shoot a commercial, whether they're hiring us to shoot an influencer campaign, we got our stuff together, and so being able to just continue to produce at a high level, but then changing lives along the way, hearing the testimonials, man, that for me, that's success.
So, how important is it for not even just men, but the teenagers who becoming men? It's important to dress for success in our community, because I know growing up back home in Kansas City, they actually told us, hey, when you go to job interviews, this is how you're supposed to dress. But nowadays, I didn't see people come to job interviews just in t-shirt, pair of jeans, and some Timberland boots, and and they wondering why they haven't got the job. So, how important in our community is for them to know to dress for success, how to dress for success.
So, one of the things that I've that I've heard along the way is you don't dress for where you are, you dress for where you're going,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've also heard dress how you want to be addressed. And so a number of these things really kind of go into it's a process. So you can't jump steps in the process, basically,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't be the CEO the first day you on the job. You got to come in entry level. Now, to get in entry level, there are certain requirements that you must meet. If
Mm-hmm.
one of those requirements is you got to put on a jacket or a suit to go and to get this job, that's an automatic cancellation. So if you don't do what you know what I'm saying, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
do that one thing, how do you expect? How can you fight the system that you're not even a part of, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really like, but once you get in there, that's when you can shake things up. But you got to get in there first. Well, Chris Brown said, you hate from outside the club, you can't even get in.
You can't even get
It's
in.
it's so it's like it's really like if there's a requirement, and it's just like you go to a college, right? You apply for a university. If the university minimum standard is 1,000 on the SAT and you have a 600 on the SAT, you're not going to get in. They're not going to bend the rules for you as one person. There are requirements that come with that, right? And so it's just understanding, and that's one thing that's one of those institutional things that we have to break to realize,
Mm-hmm.
yo, in order to play the game, you got to be on the field. And so it's really like just understanding and knowing that, like, first impressions are forever. They're very lasting.
Yes.
And if in the first impression you come into a job interview and you seem as though you don't take this job seriously, why would somebody hire you? Like that's not even it's and I say this um from a level of higher thinking. That's not really a race thing. That is a class thing. Now, the unfortunate thing about the class thing is a lot of us fit into a lot of our community that is unknowing falls into lower levels of class, right? And so that's something that hinders us. It's kind of collective. It's like, well, as a byproduct, because a lot of us are in this particular situation and circumstance, a lot of us are affected by it. And so it's kind of like, man, if we just flip that switch, just flip it real quick. We hustle by nature.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
gonna figure it out. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
for sure.
We go figure it out. But in order to figure it out, I gotta be in the dope. And like that's just one of those things. It's like just understand that. Like don't take offense to it. Do what you gotta do. We always operate out of a do what I gotta do perspective. And so if that's one of the things I gotta do, just do it. And then you get in there, and then now I can open the door for somebody. You know what I mean? We always got to wait in the back door, but in order to open the back door, I got to get in the front.
You gotta come through the
And
front.
so it's really just understanding that society is not, society wants the majority to win. So if you're not the majority, get in with the majority in order to try to take advantage of some of those wins. Mark Zuckerberg, people are like, well, shoot, Mark Zuckerberg's CEO, he ain't got to wear suit and tie. Yeah, but he the CEO now. People
don't have
want to
no
be
boss.
in that role already. You know what I'm saying? We ain't there yet.
Yeah.
Of course, he can walk into. I'll say this: he can walk into a bank how he wants because he can probably buy the bank. Where he can't walk, he can't go and have the Senate hearing on Capitol Hill without his suit and tie on. You know what I'm saying? It's
This is
like
true.
it's
This
you
is
got
true.
there. It's just understanding what are you trying to achieve with that, and then you go for it. Now I will say too, man. Shoot, I learned early on a suit can get me all kind of stuff. But I was young in financial services, fresh out of college, getting accounts because I was the freshest brother in there, freshest person in there, not just brother, freshest person. You know what I'm saying? This bro, I'm 22, 23, and this guy come in here with $500,000 cash. Hey man, what should I do with this? You asking me? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's the saying?
Oh, he like, yeah, you look like you know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I got you. Come on, let's talk through this. And at that point, I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's the
But
saying, brother? You gotta fake it till you make it.
fake it till you make it, and then along the way, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna understand it. So now
Right.
I learn and stuff. But that was one of those things, man. I remember, I had a regional manager when I was in the bank. It was a brother. He was a nuke just like me, and he told me, he said, look, he said, I can get you through here really quickly because you know how to play. Like you know how to play the game. You understand. You understand the politics. You understand how sometimes just being the right person in the right room will take you into new opportunities. And he said, man, just stay true to who you are. Make sure he's like always like, bro, you fresh. Make sure you always stay one of the freshest ones in the room. That'll just open up some more. And then fast forward years later, one of the business coaches that I work with now, that was like 12, 13 years ago. One of the business coaches I work with now, I met her about 8 years ago, and she said, NeAndre, the first time I met you, I knew you were special. You were the newest person in this group because by this time I'm running a region for a life insurance company. So I got all up and down the East Coast. She said, but you were the sharpest one in there. I knew you understood, right? You understood where you wanted to go because you look like this wasn't your last stop on this train. And that's just something that I just tell people, man, dress where you want to go, not where you at.
The crazy thing about owning a suit. So I'm 39, right? My first suit I bought when I was 30.
Yeah.
So I own 42 suits.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm here in Vegas. So when I go to these places and I'm in a suit,
Yeah.
heads turn.
People want to know.
People want to know, hey, what do you do?
Yeah.
Hey, the crazy thing, women will like, hey, can I buy you a drink? I don't drink. They're like, hey,
He said, can I buy you a drink?
Yeah. I'm like, no, I don't drink. And they'll say, hey, can I buy you something to eat? So yeah, so suits, the way you dress and the way you, not even just wearing it, just the way you carry yourself,
Yeah, for
and you
sure.
walk in that room,
For
heads
sure.
is going to turn, and they're not knowing your background. Hey, I'm from the streets. I'm literally
Yeah.
from the streets,
Yeah.
but you carrying yourself, you carrying yourself a different way in that suit. It's like a superpower, you know.
It's
When I put
intention.
that on,
It's intentionality, right? When you go to the gym, you're gonna wear gym attire.
mm-hmm.
When you suit up to play football, you're gonna put them pads on. The suit is the same thing. When you when you put that suit on, you put that tie up, you look yourself in the mirror. I, I'm not saying this to be conceited, bro, but I ain't never looked at myself in the mirror with a suit on and be like, I look bad today. No, no, no. I'm like, yo, let's go. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey,
It give you this energy. It's actually a study. It was a study done in the scientific word for it is called enclosed cognition.
okay.
Your brain performs better when you see yourself in positions of power. That
Mm,
suit versus I take an exam in a suit versus taking an exam in a uh in some joggers.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna perform better in that suit because I walk in there like I'm ready to take this thing by storm. And so it's actually a study that says what you wear actually dictates your outcomes.
Yeah.
And like, oh, well, it makes sense. You feel it. You feel it.
So, a quick little funny story. So, I went on this dating show, right? And I watched the previews or whatever, whatever. So, there's gentlemen on there who would just go in there with just streetwear on. And as they
Yeah.
coming out, they getting a balloon popped immediately.
Pop, pop,
Pop,
pop,
pop,
pop.
pop, pop. So, so I went in January. I had a double breast suit on, right?
Yeah.
And mind you, I'm a truck driver. I work for
Yeah.
Pepsi. So I come out there with a green double breast suit on, suit, tie, and everything, right? Nobody pops their balloon on me, right?
Yeah.
And they automatically thinking I'm a businessman, not knowing I'm just a truck driver who's going to eventually own my own truck, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
they're,
Yeah, for
as
sure.
they go along, they ask, and it was like he's well put together, and he's well the suit, so because like I said, guys
Yeah.
get on there, they're not in a suit. So I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you. Like you're 100%. Like when you have that suit on, it's
Yeah.
like it's like you're Superman
Yeah.
because it's like everybody look at you totally different.
Yep.
So what are with you transition over to an entrepreneur? What are some of the challenges you have to face?
One thing about entrepreneurship, it's a little bit different when you have products versus when you offer a service,
Mm-hmm.
right? Products, make sure your product is good. You produce enough product, you make money, right? Make sure that your overhead is higher or your overhead is low. Make sure your top line and your bottom line feel really good. When you are in a service industry or service relationship, it's a little bit different because now you have to build relationships consistently and you have to have longevity of relationships as an entrepreneur because you need people to hire you, right? And so just one of those things about entrepreneurship, man. Um, it's a constant battle with yourself when you're building because like you get entrepreneurship you're like oh this worked well, let me go do this, and it's like well what are you here for, like what's your niche, and then we say oh I had a success here and I just go there, and it's like okay again what's your niche, what are you doing? And I think for entrepreneurs like stay consistent, stay focused. You got to believe in the product that you have or the service that you have. If you don't believe in it, it shows to other people that you don't believe in it, right? And so it's like it's always where passion meets profit, right? What you're passionate about, if you can turn that into something that becomes profitable, you 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 got the secret sauce. And so I think a lot of thing about entrepreneurship, I was having early on. I was having a conversation with my guys who's got a very successful suit company. He does suits all over the world for people. And we was talking about the platform. I was like, man, I'm getting the suits and this and that. He's like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna tell you one thing though about these suits. He said, if you don't wake up in the morning thinking about selling suits, this ain't for you. He's like, you might look good in these suits and you might like suits, but if you don't wake up in the morning thinking about fabrics, thinking about patterns, thinking about, putting suits on people,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going. And he was 100,000% right. Got it started at, trying to do some retail. I had a couple people tell me that they weren't satisfied. Not that they weren't satisfied because what I didn't provide for them wasn't good service and a good product. They weren't satisfied because I gave them what I would wear, and they were like, "Man, I can't do that." I'm like, "Yeah, you can't put the clothes on." And like for me in that moment, I was just like, that was frustrating for me. But it went back to, it was like, I, I I don't wake up thinking about dressing and styling people. I
Mm-hmm.
wake up, put my suit on, go about my business. So that's one of the things when you're an entrepreneur, whatever lane that you're in, try to have it to where that passion meets profit, and that'll keep them long hours, the relationship building, the handshaking, the baby's kisses, and all that stuff that comes with actually building a business. Um, you know, that's one of those things that it aligns when when you're passionate about what you're doing. The rest of it really kind of falls into place.
So, what habit helped you grow into a leader?
Oh man. So for me, one thing that I learned early on from I've worked at some great companies, a couple of companies, and one thing that I learned was that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mm-hmm.
And that take that even back to my beginning days of in financial services where I'm working with little accounts, right? Small accounts. I got $100. I want to open a savings account. Cool. Let me show you how this works for you. Come on, sit down with me. Let me talk to you. To then now fast forward, before I left financial services, now I'm dealing with, hey man, I got $10 million. What should I do with it? All right, let's break it down. Let's talk to you. Let me talk to you. How's the family? How the kids? How you doing today? Okay, cool. Now that we've got through all of that, right? They know that I care about them and their success. Then I can offer you this product. And so like one of the biggest things on that I've taken from that is like really building relationships with people goes far beyond other things, and those relationships come back and help you when you're having a bad quarter,
Mm-hmm.
bad year,
Mm-hmm.
bad month. Being top of mind gets you to the top of the list. People not thinking about you, out of sight, out of mind. And so, really, excuse me, really, when I think about it from that lens and that perspective, um, one of those things that I've really learned about is like showing people that you care, really, really valuing actual relationships. I like to call them real relationships, not relationships,
Mm-hmm.
because then when you have real relationships with people, that's where people want to do business with you. People do business with people that they like, plain and simple. If I got a bad experience with you, why would I give you my money? You know what I'm saying? Unless you got something that I absolutely need, but nine times out of 10, somebody else I can go find it somewhere else. And so really building relationships with people is something that I've learned that I've never let go of.
This is true. Like, I don't care. To me, is I don't care how good the quality is or the price is. If your customer service is just
Yeah.
horrible,
Yep.
I'm not going to deal with you,
Yep.
and I'm not even going to be word. Because what grows your company is word of mouth. Word of mouth what grows these companies, right? But
Yeah.
if you got a horrible, and it can also derail these companies
Correct. Correct.
because of your snotty attitude, your snotty customer
Correct.
service. So, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Man, honestly, I want my legacy to be like, yeah, I met NeAndre. Wow, that brother was a really positive person. Like that brother helped change my life. Like for me, that's what I want my legacy to be. Like my sons, man, my sons love seeing the flash mobs, being at the flash mobs, hearing guys tell them like, "Oh, that's your dad, man. How'd it feel to have your daddy that does this and this?" And the thing about that is like they're seeing the value of being kind to people. Um, I want my legacy to be one of when people leave my presence in some way, they're better off than they were before they met me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give a young black man starting out into his journey of becoming an entrepreneur or chasing his dream?
Um, don't leave your job before you're ready. So you know how much that I learned in corporate world about running my business? 90% of it,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, right? Now, granted though, in my role, I was in sales. So within sales, you're running your own unit, right? But I was able to grow my platform, travel, um, meet new people off of the money that I was making in my job.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm actually missing out on opportunities because I'm working for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things that we leave some people leave their cushion before they have to, and then they struggle. They force themselves to struggle. Versus, I was in corporate 5 years before I left when this was growing, right? I
Okay.
didn't leave until January 1st, 2023. This movement started in 2017. So I was
Mm-hmm.
there well enough to learn, to I learned information systems. I learned customer relationship management systems. I learned leading people. I learned hiring and firing. I learned um, uh, uh, accounting. I learned, like, there was so much that I learned. I learned how to soak up, how to be a sponge. I learned how to learn. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to interact and engage and acquire customers and do marketing and all of these things I learned while I was at corporate on somebody else's dime, making money while I'm preparing myself to run my own business. And so that's one of the things that I think too often we try to launch businesses because we see so and so who might just got it. Like some people just got it. You know what I'm saying? Some people
Mm-hmm.
just literally just have it. But for the rest of us, it might not be my time to walk out there because a lot of times we compare ourselves. Comparison kills curiosity, right? Like
Right.
comparison crushes dreams. And so it's like, man, it's okay. It's okay to be at that job, make your money while you're building something else. And if anybody tells you otherwise, shame on them, right? Don't force yourself into a situation that you're not ready for when you can have a corporate entity supporting your dream. So don't leave that job to go into entrepreneurship until you're ready. I also say that, secondly, just start it. If you got a business you're thinking about, just start it. It's never going to be the right time,
Mm-hmm.
but you can start it while you have support financially.
So I've been watching a couple of your episodes, and before we lead off, what is a favorite quote that you live by?
Um, Man, this is number one quote for me. It is, "You are the best version of you ever created."
Okay.
I heard it from a gentleman named Brian Buffini. Like, man, my mom used to listen to these motivational tapes every morning, drop me off at school. I was in high school. I was like, God dang. And,
It helped mold you, didn't
it did.
it?
It really did though. Like I think about all these years later, like, dang. But I used to be like so like well, I'm also entrepreneur by nature. My dad was a Marine. Then he went to the from the military to the school district. So my dad was a very,
Mm-hmm.
methodical, consistent. Like, my mom got to take the risk because my dad always had that steady, always had that
Uh-huh.
steady. So my mom would listen to these tapes called Mastermind, um, and it was just a lot of motivation, different ways to think about business and growth and relationships. And that was the one thing that I can remember every day. That man said, "You are the best version of you ever created." And it's interesting when I heard that I was struggling with self esteem at this time. I was like, I think this was around ninth grade, freshman year of high school. I was I was a short guy at the time, very short, very small. I mean, I'm not a big guy now, but imagine me at 13, 14, right? So I was very, very little. And so I struggled with self-esteem just because I was like, I'm small, like I'm smaller than everybody. But I was funny. I had a lot of friends, so it wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't ostracized. I just had a self-esteem issue, and hearing that changed that for me because it helped me stop comparing myself to other people, and it really helped me to understand like God's got something special for me that's only for me. I
Yes.
can't get what's mine trying to be somebody else. So that's that one quote, man. You are the best version of you ever created. And I really live by that. I stand on that. Like, can't nobody be NeAndre Broussard. Can't nobody be Derek French. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's only
they
one of us,
can't.
brother. One of
Yes,
us.
sir. Yes, sir.
So where can we find you and the Flash Mob before we go?
So you can find me online, all platforms, Black Menswear. You can go to blackmenswear.com/flashmob. You'll see the whole tour. Like I said, I'm grateful we kicked off Vegas. Vegas this past March. We have Houston for Memorial Day weekend. We have Atlanta in August during Invest Fest, on an Invest Fest weekend in Atlanta. We have DC in September around Congressional Black Caucus weekend out there. We have um, Flash Mob in New York in October around CultureCon. Shout out to the CultureCon team; they're doing amazing out there for creators, Black creators. And then we've got finish the year off in Miami for Art Basel. We took a year off in Miami. We've done 4 years consistently of flash mobs in Miami. We've probably donated over 500 toys to the city of Miami Gardens over those few years during the toy drop, 'cause we always do it around Christmas time. And so we took a year off from Miami to do LA last year, but Miami's calling us back. So I can't wait to go back to Miami for the end of this year. We always have a really good time in Miami. Plus, we're going through during Art Basel. So really trying to lean into some of these cultural experiences that Black men can take advantage of this year. So can't wait to see anybody that's listening along the tour. Like you say, the tour is free to be a part of. It's free to come to the Flash Mob, just to be in the network, to be in the safe space, and to have a good time. Find somebody new that's like-minded that will pour into you. Right? I'm gonna ask you, Derek. What's the first thing you heard when you put up to the Flash Mob?
Oh, you looking good in that suit, brother. You
Bruh,
looking
straight
good
like
in that
that.
suit,
I,
brother.
I, and I didn't even have to prime you on that. Like that's naturally how we engage with each other because it's like, hey, bro, you fly too. What's going? And like at that point, the walls are they just come down, right?
Yes, yes.
At that point, what you got going on? Where you from? You out here by yourself? You know anybody else? The conversation just kind of flows at that. And so I welcome other brothers to be a part of that because it truly is magical when you feel good about yourself. Quote number 2 I live by. Deion Sanders said, "When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. When you play good, they pay good." And like
This
that's
is
another
true.
one of those things, man. Like when you just feel good and other people are speaking high like words of affirmation into you, bro, brothers lead a mob like how I'm gonna take over the world today. And I
Mm-hmm.
just love being able to be a part of that, be a part of that positivity and positive energy. So I welcome brothers to come and be a part. Like I said, Houston, Houston, Atlanta, DC, New York, and Miami for this year, 2026.
And once again, I want to say thank you for stopping by. And once again, I really, really appreciate the Flash Mob. The brothers from there being online just showing me nothing but support.
Man,
And
that's great, man.
once
I
again, I
I,
thank
I
you,
appreciate
thank you
you.
for the invite. And that's all I have, brother.
I appreciate you, Derek, man. And y'all, again, make sure y'all pull up somewhere and don't be afraid to go get something new. Put you something new on. Look how you see in the mirror. My man Derek got 42 of them things. I got a few more, but I ain't that far in front of you. Yeah.
Before I go, I have 42 because I was doing real estate when I moved to
Okay.
Vegas. I was doing
Bet.
real estate, and
Bet.
I just transitioned on to something else, brother. But I appreciate you for your time.
No, all love, bro. I appreciate you having me on.
All right.